Could maxing out your 401k earlier in the year, say maybe fall or even halfway through the year, could it cause you to lose out on some company match? I've seen the solution to this a lot of times. I've never seen what I saw last week. I want to make you aware so that you can avoid it. That more coming up. Is it a problem if you max out your 401k contribution limits earlier in the year, sometime before the end of the year? No, it shouldn't be. Even if you have a company match, it shouldn't be. This scenario, it's not one that we recommend a lot. I do have a lot of clients over the years who have said, yeah, I like it. I like contributing a certain percentage into my 401k where I hit the max, let's say in September or October, and that gives me a little more cash flow by the end of the year. I've also seen a lot of people do this by accident. So unintentionally, they hit the maximum earlier in the year. Again, not something we typically recommend. I can remember a distinct time when we did recommend it, and that was during COVID. Not that we had any crystal ball and we knew that the market was going to come roaring back the second half of the year, but the market had such a steep decline that contribute as much as you possibly could at that moment and max it out as quickly as you can. Other than that, there aren't really a lot of scenarios where you'd advise or recommend, max out your 401k early and then take the rest of the year off. This comes up a lot though. Let's say your income started at a certain level and you were contributing, say 15% to your 401k. That's a good rule of thumb. But as your income has continued to climb, that 15% has really caught up to that maximum. Here in 2026, the maximum amount that you can contribute into your 401k for this year is $24,500. You can do more than that if you're age 50 or older, and even more than that if you're eligible for the super catch-up, 60 to 63. So let's say your incomes continue to grow and now you make around $200,000, you're still saving 15%. Well, you're going to exceed that maximum of $24,500, probably sometime in the fall. Is that an issue, and does it create a problem if you're getting the company match? I would say normally it doesn't. Typically, and I mean typically as in every other time that I've looked at this, other than an example that I just saw last week, in every other situation, your company should automatically have a solution to this, and that is that your company match will continue like regular on every paycheck, even though you are not contributing, or your company, when they do their census at the end of the year, typically in the first quarter of the next year, and they look at everyone's salary and they look at contribution limits, they look at match, and they send all of that off to the third-party administrator and the record keepers, they will then take a look and say, okay, wait a second, what was your salary? How much did you contribute to the 401k? Does that meet the formula for the full company match? Oh, your company match was this. We'll do a true up, okay? It's typically one of those two things, okay? Because that's really the thing. If your match, let's say your 401k matching contribution is, well, if you do 5%, your company will do 4%. Well, if you do 15% of your income into your 401k and you max it out by September, and then you don't contribute anything extra to your 401k, anything else to your 401k because you've hit the limit by the end of the year, your company really should take a look and say, okay, well, you maxed it out. Is $24,500 more than 5% of your total pay? If it is, then you should get the full 4% company match in this example. And and I can say almost now because of what I saw last week, but I would have said your company should have a solution to this, and you just want to know what it is. One, even when you hit the max and your 401k contributions stop, your company is either continuing to do the match every single paycheck, or they're going to true it up at the end of the year or beginning of next year. You want to know. Well, never seen this before. In my career, we had a client who, this was accidental. They have a base pay and they wanted to make sure that they max out their 401k based on that base pay. And then out of the blue, they got a big bonus, unexpected bonus this year for the company performance and their individual performance last year. And the contribution, the bonus amount was so significant that they already here at the end of the first quarter, they hit the maximum for their 401k contribution for the entire year. Never had this happen before. This is an unusual bonus. They'll never get it again. A huge payout and a huge blessing. So they then looked and they reached out to their company, their HR department on the advice of their financial planner and said, hey, what happens now that I hit the max on my 401k? Am I still going to get the full company match? And wait till you hear this. They were told by their HR department, no, you will no longer be eligible for the company match. If you stop contributing, and they had to because they'd reached the limit, the 401k contribution limit for the year, you will no longer get the company match. And they even showed it in the summary plan description, the actual plan document, and it says we will only make company matching contributions on the paychecks that you are making contributions to the 401k as well, and there is no true up. Guys, I've never seen this before in my career. Very reputable company, and I don't think they were doing anything shady, and we confirmed it is legal for a company to take that stance. It's just extraordinarily rare. So what's the solution? For them, again, looking at the summary plan description, looking at their plan document, they are allowed to, yes, make pre-tax contributions or Roth contributions. They max out pre-tax. But in addition to that, there is a third way that a lot of 401k plans allow you to contribute, and thankfully theirs does, and that is after-tax contributions. You may think, well, wait, after-tax is a Roth contribution. Yeah, Roth is after-tax, but on a Roth contribution, those dollars then grow tax-free, tax-sheltered and then tax-free. After-tax contributions do not give you a deduction today, but the growth on it is taxable when you withdraw it. So you might say, well, why would I do that? Well, because of the mega backdoor Roth strategy. Talked a lot about that. That's not the purpose of today's video, but essentially that's what this client's going to do. Why? Because they can now do an after-tax contribution from every paycheck from now into the end of the year. And because they're still contributing to their 401k, they're going to be eligible for the company match based off that after-tax contribution. And yeah, at the end of the year, we're then going to convert the after-tax contributions that they made to their 401k over to the Roth side, and it's going to be mega backdoor Roth IRA and allow them to get the full company match. So how does this apply to you? If you are currently maxing out your 401k, or you're contributing 15%, 16%, a healthy percentage of your income, and you expect your income to grow such that at some point you're going to max out your 401k and likely won't do it right at the end of the year on your very last paycheck. You'll probably do it earlier in the year. Maybe you get a bonus, maybe you get commission, maybe something occurs where it's possible that you could hit the maximum contribution limit to your 401k earlier than the end of the year. Step one, you have got to contact your HR department or your retirement plan provider and find out, well, is there a provision for you to continue to get the company match even if you max out your 401k earlier in the year? I would say 9 times out of 10, maybe 99 times out of 100, yes, this is a known issue and your company's going to have a solution for it. You just need to know that they do. Because second step is if they don't, if they actually stated in their plan document, yeah, if you're not contributing to the 401k, you're not getting the company match. There's no true up, there's no continuation. Then you've got to look and say, well, does it allow for after-tax contributions? And then is that something you'd want to do? If so, problem solved. But if not, if they don't allow for after-tax and it's not something you want to do, then you're going to need to be more proactive in managing your contributions so that you hit that limit at the end of the year and don't do so earlier. Guys, from a financial planning perspective, this is certainly a tax planning issue. It's a cash planning issue. It is a investment and retirement planning issue. It touches clearly 4 of the 6 areas of your financial life. You got to make sure that they're integrated to navigate this. Work with your certified financial planner on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K. WiseMoneyShow.com. You can find us there as well. Or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.